right, hey everyone, welcome back to episode 4 of Sandy Side Up. We hope you enjoyed the last Sandy Side Out episode where um, I went around all nations and saw what people were up to, see if indoor players know what beach terms are. But yeah, it's been a while. We've had a lot of tournaments go by, and not an episode talking about them. So in this episode, we're gonna recap BUCS, Club Champs, Croyde, and then the two NEVZAs that George has played in. And we also get a little sneak peek into the Edinburgh four-star with Ruari Souter, who is the head coach of Edinburgh Beach Volleyball Club, and he and his team were responsible for organizing, setting up, and putting everything together for the Edinburgh four-star. So that's what we have in store today. George, tell us about BUCS and Club Champs.
So, for those who don't know, BUCS is the university championships for beach volleyball. Well, BUCS for all sports across all universities. And we host for beach volleyball one big ass 2-day tournament in right after the indoor season ends. Um, and there are three divisions for each. You have the championship, the trophy, and the shield. This year we had Nottingham have quite a dominance. We had five out of the six men's teams across all divisions were Nottingham. We won, so me and my partner Niall Peters won the Shield. Cole and Griffin Walters won the trophy. And then Rob Morgan and Ben Gladstone lost the final to UCL, being Jake Sanders and his partner, who is also from UCL, who I had no idea who he was prior to playing this tournament. It was a real shock seeing him perform the way he did. As again, me and you are probably stuck in the same cycle of knowing all the beach players. Um,
Well, yeah, we
um,
at KCL we played varsity against UCL. And so I've played against him for well, he started off actually just on the mixed team, Alex. But
oh, really?
yeah, he was just playing on the mixed team, and then I think last year he got the call up to the men's team, and he's just been just gnarly lefty, just bouncing
Yeah,
balls left and right.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
impressive to see. But yeah, that was Bucks, and it was a great event. Like, how many courts were there? Something like 40 courts
that's crazy.
set up there, which were leading into the next event, which was straight after Club Champs, which is again the club championships for all the clubs across the UK, um, which had a lot of teams from the box come straight across. I think a lot of the men's teams played. The women's side, I mean, the medalists, I don't think any of the medalists continued to play after. So you had Tyler Kutcher and her partner from Durham, who got gold in the championship division. Then the trophy division was won by Nottingham, Julia Moraz and Kat Krieger. And then I believe the shield was won by, was it Newcastle? Ellie Glory and, am I getting the wrong stat there?
The shield for ladies was Glory,
Yes, Ellie
which
Glory
I
and her partner.
apologize, I do not know any of these people.
So yeah, that was
But
Ellie Glory and her partner from Newcastle. And I believe none of the women's teams stayed on to play in, aside from did Cancun? No, they didn't. So yeah, and then club championships. For those teams that had come straight from Bucks, that was 4 days straight of competitive volleyball. My legs were cooked.
yeah,
Like I think we had like, yeah, I can't remember how many games it was. It was silly. There were like, I think it was like something like 60 teams in the Shield. So for me it was, yeah, yeah. So for me it was like pool games, like round of whatever it was, quarters. I was knackered. Um, but yeah, the club championships was also a great event. The weather was awful, um, but it was great. We saw a returning domination from Fireball, both on the men's and women's side. Um, Fireball only losing across both teams. So you had North Devon and you had Southwest. On the men's side of the draw, the only time Fireball no, Southwest lost was to, they didn't lose at all, sorry. Yeah, they won it with Sam Dunbavin, John Morgan, and then Kike Bello and Nico Gleed. And then the other team, the Fireball North Devon. I really haven't getting them the right way around because I can't remember for the life of me who plays for who.
yeah, they were
Um,
all wearing the same kit as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other time the other Fireball team lost was actually to Richmond Volleyball, which I was repping. So that was a
Mhm.
pretty major upset as well. that day. But yeah, pretty big dominance from them. And on the women's side as well, Fireball getting all the way to the final, just losing to Richmond's Katie Keefe and Martha Bullen in the golden set, which is, huge shifts from both teams. Gerda Lorena, Alison Kirsty dogging it out on court. Um, but yeah, massive shifts. Um, a shock from last year as well, as you had Nico switching from Deep Dish Bournemouth, who he lost with in the final medal match last year, to now playing for Dunbavin. So yeah,
Yeah,
quite funny how
crazy.
teams are switching. If you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, I really wanted to play this year, but unfortunately, I had prior commitments to indoor. I'm disappointed in myself, but it was fun. It was a fun weekend last year, and I'm sure it was just the same this year. I did the quad last year as well, 2 days of BUCS, 2 days of Club Champs.
Mm.
And you got yourself a medal, and that's always nice,
Yes,
you know.
it's always nice to bring home a bit of silverware.
hmm
Right there on my
Yeah,
podium, and I like the purple. Well,
yeah.
next year I want to come and try and
The
win the.
purple. Why is it
Yeah,
purple?
I don't know. It's the I think the shield one's purple, and then the like the hold on.
All right. Go on, show us,
Uh,
show us.
yeah, you got the purple strip,
Mm,
obviously the gold. So,
nice.
but yeah, always a pleasure to play. These wonderful events. Yeah, and then the bronze, of course, went to University of Nottingham for the Women's Club Championships.
hmm
With I think Adele. I can't remember how to pronounce your last name. And Amelia, and then also Maya and Izzy Brown. And then the
Nice.
men's side of the draw was St. Andrews Volleyball with Murray and his brother, the Pattons, and Cole and Ewan, who beat who was it in the bronze match? Um,
I have the results here. They
Side Out
had
Leighton,
a
a
side out,
massive
yeah.
dub. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
to
that's
beat Andy
huge.
and Dalton, like some really good players like
Yeah.
Andy, Dalton being a very big indoor name as well this year, coming over on a scholarship. Yeah, really impressive feats from them.
hmm
But yeah, leading into the next event, which was after,
Mm.
which I could not go to, but you did, the Croyde Four-Star. Take it away.
Yeah, it was again, same as Cardiff, the same tournament format. I think they originally wanted 32 teams, but we kept it at 24. Very well run event. Same thing on the second day. They had a instead of a King of the Court event, they had a three-star traditional, full stage into knockouts tournament.
Mm.
Um, for those who didn't make it today too. So like Sam told us on episode one, very much a players event, very much catered towards the players. The weather was amazing. It did rain a little bit, and we did get actually lightninged off
Really?
on the
Oh my.
first day. Yeah, so literally our first game, set two, we were 3-1 up, and then boom, you hear thunder. Sam, taking the lead as he always does, as Mr. CEO Farball comes into the middle of the courts. That's it. Everyone off the beach. I can't make you leave, but if someone gets struck by lightning, I'm screwed. I can't make you leave the beach, but I'm just gonna go sit in my car. And I think the official rule is like 15 minutes of lightning and thunder free time. So we waited for about 10 minutes. Another thunder sounded. Wait, that means we had to wait another 15 minutes, but then, everyone got back onto the courts. Everything ran on schedule. Um, and then, a couple of upsets, both on the men's and the women's side. Dalton and Andy beat Sam and John twice. Um, both in I think it was the quarters on day one, yeah, sending them into the losers bracket as well as in the semis.
Wow.
Um, and then Andy and Dalton came second, ultimately losing to JJ and Hayden, who also played a very good game of their own in three. And
Mm.
then I think it was Lewis and Luca. Shout out to our Kids Be Cooking section in the uh, last episode, who came fourth. Sam and John kind of defending their home court in Croyde. On the ladies, we had some sleepers in there. We had the same top two, Lynn and Vary beating Lorena and Gerda in the finals. And then Millie Constable playing with Zara Orellana, who is a Mexican international, I believe. Let me fact check myself on that real quick. But yeah, we were told that she just moved to Bristol, and then she was looking for events to play. She was playing in the Cardiff courts, and then picked up Millie Constable for this tournament.
Mhm.
They applied for the wild card. They got the wild card, given seventh seed, and they ended up coming third. So very similar, third place as the Cardiff, where Maeve and Georgia fought their way up from 24th seed.
Mm.
And I think they actually faced off against Millie and Zara as well. Another tight
Mm.
game that went to three. Um, yeah, very good tournament, very well run. Lots of new teams coming in, new faces, old faces defending their positions. And that's ultimately what this sport is about. It's about the people, it's about the community.
Mm.
At the end of the day, everyone's trying to get that gold, but it's always nice to see familiar faces grinding it out on the beach on a lovely Croyde sunny day.
Of course.
Yeah. So that was Croyde. Just a little quick overview. How about the NEVZAs? I was trying to play the Bridlington one, but unfortunately, results didn't go our way in the 4 star previously, and some other teams got the call up. It gave me a good weekend to train a little bit. But
Mm.
how did you do?
They were good. Again, first senior international
Hmm.
cap for me. I played
Hmm.
in the junior NEVZA last year for under
Hmm.
20s and came away with a bronze. Um, So yeah, this year first senior NEVZA in Oddanesand in Norway,
Hmm.
and me having no international points and my partner Tom having a few. Obviously, we got quite a tough draw. So we ended up playing some pretty good teams. I think we played one junior team who was seeded sixth, who both I think won Sebastian Kjumprund who won the under 18s, and then Pedersen who won under no he came bronze in the under 20s. Um, this year. Um, and then we played Finland and another Norway team. We got knocked out in the round of 24, which was, still nice to get to play those international matches at such a level. Um, it was a nice venue, really beautiful location. I mean, Norway, if anyone gets the chance to go, go. Oslo is beautiful. No, Danestan was weird because the courts were like surrounded by this crevice and they were here and the wind would come this way. So there's a bit of a side wind. Um, at times. And very much English weather. It couldn't decide what it wanted to do. I think in one game we had rain, sun, wind, no wind. Yeah, it was pretty odd. But yeah, a great first experience playing at that level. And then there were two other teams from England. Lucy Knott and Ella Watson, who competed in the women's draw, and then Lewis Fenech and Sam Reed, who also were there alongside us, which was quite fun because on the way home our flight got delayed, so I had a ball, so we just played some airport volleyball, which is really fun. But yeah, moving on to Bridlington. So this was our first senior NEVZA in a while being held here.
Wow.
Um, and we had some big teams. Most of these teams, same as in Odensand, all these teams playing futures, some even challengers, qualifiers for challenges, um, and yeah, it was really good. Returning teams from England, you had teams like Kike Bello and Nico Gleed, who went on to win the event, bring home the gold for England, and then Martha Bullen and Katie Keefe, who got bronze in the women's draw. It was a really well run event. And again, really nice to just see like the international quality being brought to this country. And we're not just, oh, England. It's, you know, you're coming here, you're bringing good teams, and, England are winning, which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, leading into the junior NEVZA, and congratulations to all the teams that have competed in that, because this year was a lot tougher, as it was now a CEV qualifier. So I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the top two teams from each brackets, under 18s, under 20s for both men and women's, they have qualified for now CEV under 18 and under 20 championships. So any team that did not get there in the final is not qualified, which I could be wrong on, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, which is tough. But saw some really good competition, some standouts from both teams, both genders. I think there was a England team in 3 out of the 4 bronze medal matches. Shout out to Lewis Bunton and Luca Robinson for making the under 18s medal match. Congratulations to Zach McGurr and Dylan Parsons as well for putting up a really, really good fight, playing an age group up in the under 20s, making it that far. And then also to, I believe it was Tilly and Robin who made it to the bronze medal match in the under 18 girls.
Hmm,
So yeah, congratulations to all
nice.
those teams and a really good event. I
Yeah.
thought the venue was a big improvement on last year. Shout out to Skyball for organizing such a wonderful event. They had the flags. It was really nice. All games were streamed. Photographers, everything. It was a really, really well run event, and I'm really excited to see what they do in the future.
Yeah. I was able to catch a couple of the games, and it did look quite windy, in classic
Yeah.
Bridlington style.
Yeah, it was really windy. Like the side, it was pretty brutal. Like
Mhm.
trying to go, win 5-2 on the good side and lose 3-4 on the bad side. It was
Yeah.
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really brings out the grit of those players. Like
Mhm.
who wants it the most, who has the best ball control, who knows the game the best, which was really interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
but something we didn't see in this tournament was the introduction of the new doubles rule, which
Mm.
is now being trialed in Gstaad, which
Yeah.
we've been had the pleasure of watching this week. What are your thoughts on Gstaad with the new double contact rule being taken away?
So I watched a couple of games, just the highlights on the YouTube because my volleyball TV expired. And I don't have that much time to watch as much as I used to anymore. But yeah, I saw teams weren't really trying any new crazy things. They weren't doing any new fancy, wide plays or trying to move the block around. I think most of the players are pretty standard and they want to keep the integrity of the sport. Well, not that removing the doubles rule is
An issue for
a non-integrity move, but like
yeah.
they've played this way their whole lives. They've trained this way their whole lives. I think it was just like a collective unwritten rule where we're like, okay, the new rule doesn't matter. We're going to play the game the way we know it and the way we know how. We're not going to try to exploit or take advantage of anything, which I think is really nice. It's like, in baseball, you don't try to rack up your score after you're up a certain amount of points. It's kind of like it's protecting the sport the way we know it. So I think that
Yeah.
was nice.
Yeah. I think also like with the rule being taken away, I feel like for many teams at this point in the season as well, like Gstaad is a
Mhm.
massive event
Yeah,
for some of the biggest tournament of the year. Like
yeah,
I think to change your entire game style for a rule
hmm
that's only being tested is
yeah,
quite a risky move. And I feel like
yeah.
if anything, it might help out teams, but I don't think, yeah, like you said, I do feel like it would be ridiculous for these teams to suddenly change all of their tactics
Mhm.
just for, this rule. I
Yeah.
think if anything, it helps them because again, these are the highest level in the world. It's very rare we do get a double. Um, but when they do, it's slight or extremely noticeable with the ball just going straight between their hands.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think yeah, it makes sense for me that they're
Mhm.
trialing this there. But yeah, it's not noticeably changed at this level. I think if we were looking more at like challenges, futures, where we maybe start
Mhm.
to see a few players start to get a bit more upset, possibly with the
Yeah,
refs,
for
or
sure.
things to get a little bit more heated. Um, but otherwise, average Sunday for our
Mhm.
Anders Moles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so coming up next is our tournament. Are you playing in the Edinburgh?
I will not be in
You will
Edinburgh.
not
I
be,
am
right.
away on a ha family vacation next
Oh,
week,
okay. Yeah,
as I am absolutely shattered from playing too much
yeah.
volleyball.
Sounds fun. Get some sun away from the wind from
Yeah,
Edinburgh.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, welcoming on our guest Ruari Souter, who is the head coach of Edinburgh Beach Volleyball Club.
And now welcoming to the podcast is Ruari Souter, who is the head coach of
Hello.
Edinburgh Beach Volleyball, uh, our latest guest.
So yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Ruari is a Scottish international player. He's on the Scottish High Performance Program. He's played on the UK Beach Tour for 5 years, and he's the Edinburgh Beach Volleyball head coach. And he does the admin and the organization for the Edinburgh Four Star, which is why we have him on today. So, Ruari, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
yeah. So just to get things rolling, tell us what's your story. Tell us of your volleyball journey, who you are, where volleyball has taken you, and how you got to where you are now.
Nice. Yeah, so I mean, I've played volleyball, yeah, all since I was in high school, but just not at a very high level until about five or 6 years ago is when I got into competing. And started playing in Newcastle on Tynemouth Beach, very recreationally, and then moved up to Edinburgh, got involved in what the club was doing there. Then became a club coach, then became a lot more involved with kind of running the club, leading tournaments, running sessions, taking over a lot of that sort of side of things, alongside Lindy and Mel Coots. And yeah, now on the high performance team for Scottish volleyball for the last couple of years. Or yeah, 2022, yeah, is when I joined that. And yeah, just trying to develop and push myself further on the UK scene and break more into the international scene as well.
Nice. What
And
does
yeah,
kind of talk us through like what a typical week looks like for you at Edinburgh Beach? Because obviously like
nice.
us down here in England, we're kind of we don't really know what's going on up there, you know. So like, do you guys do like
The land
weekly
of
sessions?
mystery up north.
Yeah, tell
Yeah.
us what it's like up there.
So yeah, my Monday we run. It's more kind of beginner sessions that we run on Mondays. We've got like mixed groups. Those are quite popular. We've got so there's about we have three kind of permanent courts on Portobello Beach in Edinburgh, and then a few other pop-ups that we can put up as well. And we have another site that is undergoing maintenance in Edinburgh. It's not really used for tournaments at the moment, but it's five kind of bookable courts that people can use here. So we've got yeah classes on the Monday. Tuesdays I'll often train. Wednesdays we've got our more advanced groups, which has been really fun, kind of growing and leading those, seeing players go from those sessions into competitions as well. It's nice to see he's developing in that sort of way. And then on Fridays we've got our kind of open sessions where literally anyone walking along the promenade can just rock up
Mm.
and join. Those have been very, very popular this year. We've had, I think the most we've had is 43 people at one time on just three courts. So
That's
Jeez,
crazy.
very
that's
busy. When the
that's
weather's
really
nice,
impressive.
it does encourage. Yeah, it kind of yeah, I felt like it was with deep dish in Portugal again on that
Yeah, yeah.
particular evening.
What
Just
Rory, what
funneling
started
loads
that?
of people.
How did you come about with that then?
Uh, so yeah, I've been involved with the club for 4 years now, and I've yeah helped grow it a lot into a club that is we want more competitions and we want more kind of development here, but also trying to get in lots more people at the recreational level, that we can then sort of use that open play to funnel people into sessions and kind of build them up there and get them more involved in the scene. And yeah, those have been really popular as sort of just a session people don't need to book on for, and they can just turn up for.
Yeah, I mean that's a really unique
But yeah,
aspect of a club. Like I've not heard that from anywhere else. It's really impressive that it's been so successful as well. And I think that's a really good like community perspective wise. That must be really nice. Um, yeah, no,
yeah,
that's a really cool
yeah. It's
selling point.
nice
I
to
love
see.
that.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's good as well when you get. Yeah. It's nice when you are getting people as well who have just like their first time being there has been on a Friday, and then they've started to come to like beginner sessions and then carried on from then. And, like I've got a
Mm.
guy who's just been on the Fridays who played like his first tournament last week and is now playing his second tournament this weekend as well.
Mm.
So
That's really cool. I think that's like that's a problem that a lot of clubs have. Like, is that that coming across to the public is like quite not clicky, but
Daunting.
yeah, yeah. Like in London at least, where we are, Crystal Palace is down in the sand. Like it's not very easy
Yeah,
access. It's
hard
all
to
surrounded
find.
by courts. So I think that's a massive benefit of that. Yeah, maybe that's something other clubs can look to learn from you. That's really cool.
I suppose, yeah, our location does kind of help with that in that we are. I don't know if you been to Edinburgh before, George,
I haven't
or
actually. It's one of the few locations I'm yet
you've
to venture
not.
to. No.
Oh, you missing out. So basically where the club is, we're just off the promenade. So it's the courts are next to like a very high footfall area. So you get like and because Edinburgh is quite a touristy place, you do get people kind of just from all over wandering up.
Mm.
But yeah.
So that kind of leads into the next question that I have is that so obviously you're doing all the management and the pre-tournament organization, like you said
Yes.
to me
Or our
before we
teams,
started.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What kind of goes into making Edinburgh happen? Because it's a bit of a different setup
Oh, so
than
many things.
Cardiff and Croyde. And what makes it kind of unique to other tournaments?
Yeah, what makes it unique? I think the most unique thing about it is its location. It's a pretty cool location. I really like
Yeah,
Edinburgh Beach as a place to play and train. Quite a cool, yeah, ni nice kind of view from the beach onto the sea. But what I get pretty deep sands, Edinburgh. Uh, Again, another good thing that's quite good to train on, and then go play somewhere shallow. Makes you feel like you're jumping way higher. But maybe something some teams might struggle with if they've only played on shallower sort of sand before. You have to work to get out of Edinburgh. Notorious for
yeah,
claiming victims for cramp, who have been jumping high all day. Um, yeah, we've went with we're going with a more kind of traditional format, I guess. For the tournament, in that we're going to go pool play and then elimination rounds. As like a lot of the four stars this year have just been double elim, big teams, kind of more traditional 16 teams, four pools of four, double elim. Um, but yeah, always a good turnout for the high level tournaments. When we had the Grand Slam here,
yeah.
always seemed to be a very stacked draw. And then since we've had the four star, the first time we had the four star was last year, and last year and this year have both been really good turnouts, which is what we love to see.
Yeah, I think with the fireball
Yeah.
tournaments that we've seen in the past couple months with the double elim, it's really good at the start of the season for like those underdog teams to try like get out and get their
Yeah.
points. And then now that everyone has like a good set of results, then we can go back to kind of more traditional pool play and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you mentioned that it's a really high footfall area. Do you kind of do any community outreach like actively, or do you kind of just rely on the traffic of the
Yeah. I
beach to
mean,
draw people in?
well, we do get that, yeah. We do get a few community programs. We have a junior camp just for the four star that we're running next week.
Mhm.
So getting kids involved from local schools, uh, schools and things making bookings
Mm.
just to try out beach volleyball. As it's for a beach, it's a pretty central location to a
Yeah.
city, so it's quite easy for a lot of people to get to, rather than I don't know somewhere like Croyde where you're miles from anywhere pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and yeah, lots of it's a tournament that we run every year. It's all the kind of it's like a restaurant league is the way I'm going to describe it. It's a bunch of different restaurants that enter their teams and they just play like six aside against
Oh,
each
that
other on
sounds
the
sick.
beach every year. And then yeah, that's something that we've had to facilitate in the last couple of years. And they always seem to have a good time doing that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of volleyball experience among the groups, but the yeah, always a good time.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Um,
Like just
yeah.
getting some people involved.
Mm.
What's like
Yeah.
the other
Actually,
tournaments?
other tournaments. So we've got yeah, this is the most kind of tournaments that we've ever run in a year, on the UKBT at least. Or I definitely think ever those. We're running 17 total tournaments this year. Um, so five 3 stars, five men's, five ladies, 3 stars, five mixed tournaments, and then the men's and ladies 4 star coming up next week. But yeah, it's nice to have so many and to see them so well attended as well. I think our first 3 star of the year was the busiest one we've ever done actually. We had 20 men's teams and then 13 ladies teams. So action packed couple of days.
Hmm. Yeah. And last year you had the qualifier, but this year we're just keeping it at 16.
Yeah, so I wanted to run a qualifier, but it was under the conditions for that were introduced at the start of the year on UKBT that we're not allowed to do qualifiers for 4 stars anymore. It's just the Grand Slams that are allowed to have the sort of Friday kind of qualifiers. It's something that I would kind of like to reintroduce as I quite enjoyed doing that last year. It was a pretty brutal format of
Yeah.
a seeded single elim bracket, but I did think it gave some opportunities to some local teams who maybe had no points but might have been quite good and couldn't wildcard in for whatever reason,
Mm.
or even some teams who could maybe travel up on the Friday still and still make it there. And if they were confident they were going to win, it was actually a team from London who came up to play in the qualifier and won the qualifier last year on the men's side. Um, but yeah,
Nice. And you play a lot on the UK Beach Tour yourself. You did do both Cardiff and Croyde, and you're the head coach, right, of
yes.
Edinburgh. So who coaches you? What do you what are some things that you're
Who
working on?
coaches me?
Like, yeah.
So yeah, most of the training that I've done in the kind of past 5 years has been sort of kind of self-taught with groups. And it's only in the last couple of years that I've moved on to the performance program where we've actually had a coach who can coach us. So this year we have two coaches for Scottish volleyball who lead the performance program. We have Sean Cook, who you may know, now Scottish International plays on the ABP, who is doing the sort of remote side of coaching, and we have Rachel Gunn, who is a player from New Zealand, who is our sort of kind of local coach. Who, yeah, she is the coach of all the top sort of teams in Scotland, along with Sean. But yeah, in terms of sort of advanced coaching, that's something that I want to look at driving more in the club. It's just quite hard finding a sort of steady kind of large group of people for it, as you kind of want to make the session smaller, but then you want to get more people involved, so it can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. What would you say are some of like the biggest differences playing in England and playing in Scotland and playing in
I
Portugal?
saw this.
Because we that's where we met, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, yeah, yeah. So I saw this question. I'm like, how bad do you think the weather is up here? It's pretty similar. No, I mean, Edinburgh's quite windy, but I mean, you'll get that with kind of any kind of seaside location, is that you're going to be exposed to the wind a lot. I think it's an advantageous thing to train in though. I don't think you get worse having trained in the wind all the time than going to somewhere inland like London where it's
Mm.
it's, it's never, too windy in one direction.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's very. I would say it's quite rare here that we're getting a day where there's no wind.
Mm.
Quite
How,
exposed on that open beachfront.
how about like the
Um,
culture and community aspect? Like, because in
yeah, I think. Sorry, Karen.
like in London, a lot of like there's 3 stars every weekend. There's like mixed tournaments every weekend. So people kind of just like just because of the there's so many people playing in London that
Yeah, all
you
the
can kind
time.
of play around, right? But like in Scotland, obviously you got like Jamie and Ross who are like there. And then other than that, like where do you get your volleyball from? Or like even the year
Yeah, I
before.
mean,
Mhm.
I suppose you've got there may just be kind of lots of players at that sort of three-star level who I guess just kind of won't be as known.
Mhm.
I guess in part from the fact that we are running a lot more tournaments kind of in Scotland now than we used to be. I think it was 2022, I think was the first year there was UKBT events in Scotland. There was a local tour, a Scottish tour, before that. That was I think 2021 was the last year it ran. It was sort of dying off. That doesn't run anymore, and it's just the UKBT now. But I suppose you're getting lots of athletes now who just play sort of locally and they're not traveling to England as much. But there are lots of players, maybe more than you would think up here. Definitely at that sort of more recreational, starting to build into competitive level. There's a huge community, especially in
Mhm.
Edinburgh. Lots of people booking and doing kind of their own sort of training. Lots of kind of
Mhm.
self training and coaching that goes on definitely in Edinburgh.
Are there any kind of players who are like who swing both ways, like both indoors and beach? Because I know there's a Scottish beach league, no, indoor league, right? And like, do
Yeah,
most of
for
those
sure. Yeah.
players come out as well?
You'll get some who do both. I would say I don't know. Do you feel like in England that there's a clear divide, or you've got people are doing both? Like mo most people are doing both.
I think that
Um,
there's a quite a big like mix for us
Yeah.
in England
mm,
at least. Like I know at university, like for me, like at Nottingham, from me, Ollie Quick, Rob Morgan, Tom Lysett, like a lot of us beach players now playing indoor, but same with like, Ian plays indoor. I think just during the winter, I think it's really hard for us to
Yeah.
just,
yeah,
yeah, it is again that time of year that people just have
I
to
know.
go inside and hide.
Well, when they build that facility in Birmingham in I don't
Woohoo!
know five
Yeah.
years or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I'm not actually involved in the indoor scene much anymore. The last season I played indoor was the 2021 season, or
Mm.
2022, I think was the year it ended. I don't have too much kind of interest in indoor anymore. I would say definitely at the recreational level, you're getting like everyone's doing kind of both. Where the higher level players are either hugely more beach focused or more indoor focused.
Mm.
I think examples of players who do both who are still playing lots of beach would be David Maxon. I don't know if you're
Yeah. Yeah.
familiar with him. He's played international indoor. He's quite involved with the beach team as well. Um, trying to think of who plays indoor off the top of my head is
I guess
is
Ewan, but
testing me.
he's
But
living down
Ewan and
here.
Cole, yeah,
Yeah.
Ewan
again,
and
Cole's with
Cole,
me at
yeah, for
Notts.
sure. Yeah, both on the Scottish national team for indoor and both quite involved with the beach.
Yeah.
For sure.
So those two do get quite involved with the. I know it's tough for them with indoor and beach. Like speaking to Cole as well, because they're
Yeah,
like conflicting international events.
absolutely. I
Which
mean,
is quite
the
must be
indoor
annoying.
scene runs so late. They carry
Yeah.
on forever. The training, I think that only now have some of like their main block of training just finished, and we're like already feels like we're mid-season pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, I guess we are. Yeah, we will be.
Yeah.
The Edinburgh Four-Star marks the exact kind of mid-season for us, I guess.
Mhm.
Mm.
And how about the rest of your plans this season? Like, are you doing the Grand Slams? What other four stars are you doing?
For sure. I mean, I had planned to play all. The only one I hadn't planned to play was Croyde, and I ended up playing that one anyway. So
Yeah.
quite last minute. It is so far, but I'm definitely glad I came. Long way to go,
Mm.
but yeah, for sure. Yeah, plans to play all the sort of four stars. The week following the Edinburgh four star, there is actually an international event in Scotland, a small countries zonal, which is part of the CEV. So there are lots of teams in Scotland playing in that as well. I will not be, as I was entered with someone who had to pull out, so unfortunately I
Ah,
won't be playing that anymore. But yeah, a cool opportunity for a lot of those sort of growing teams on the performance program to
mm,
go and play and get their first sort of taste of international competition.
yeah.
Just to kind of wrap things up, what's the and you yourself, you're on the Scottish High Performance Program. What's kind of like the growth and the future of Scottish volleyball looking like? Where is it heading?
So, yeah, I guess the biggest focus for them as a governing body, they want to drive a lot more international stuff. So we want kind of teams that are regularly competing on the World Tour at the moment. We've got probably three teams that are kind of regularly competing. One on the men's side, which is Ross and Jamie, who you'll be familiar with. And we have on the ladies' side, we've got Lynn and Barry, who are playing internationally, and we've got Katie and Rachel.
Mm.
And there's a few other players. I would say they're the most sort of regular players who are playing internationally. Um, Maybe a few others going in and out who might play the odd event. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm not seeing
yeah.
Katie and Rachel much at Four Stars. Have they been doing more like kind of training on their
I
own and
guess
doing
yeah,
more World
they're
Tour stuff?
more focused on international. We've got half of them playing in the four star. So it's Katie who's playing in the four star with Alexis, who's another lady on the high performance program. Um, they just competed in the NEVZA in Bridlington and came fourth. So I think their focus has more been on international rather than UKBT this year.
Mm.
Nice. And just kind of last thing to fully wrap us up. You do a lot of coaching yourself, being the head coach of EBVC.
EBVC.
EBVC. What's
Just the letters. The
what's
letters is fun.
what's kind of your like coaching philosophy? What's like a message that you want to send across to the people you coach, or like your
Ooh, no, I didn't think of that. I guess my sort of coaching philosophy, I would say, I'm very sort of rep based. I've seen with a lot of coaches, definitely with a lot of coaches I work with in Portugal, who very kind of gameplay focused. I do like to break down skills a lot and just repeat them until uh, we have them nailed. That's the biggest thing that I kind of push in my coaching is just being able to do something well and over until we move on to the next thing. Because yeah, I find you'll get a lot of beginners and they just want to attack the ball and we're just like can't do that until we can pass and set the ball. But yeah, definitely very rep focused and very skill focused.
nice. I think that there's no shortage of. Wait, let me restart that sentence. We can always be better technically, there's
Yeah.
never a
Yeah,
need. There's always a need to continue
yeah.
like getting those
Never a
reps in.
ceiling. Always keep getting better. Yeah, for
Of
sure.
Yeah.
course.
Okay. Thanks for hopping
Yeah.
on with your busy schedule, Ruari. It was a pleasure chatting
Thank
with
you for
you.
having me,
Always fun.
guys.
Yeah.
Of course. Always welcome.
Yeah. And I guess we'll see you next weekend.
See you next week. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be a fun event.
Of
Yeah.
course. Thanks, Rui.
Cool.
All right, guys.
See you,
All
buddy.
right. Take care.
See ya.
Right. So thanks, Ruari, for hopping on again. Very insightful. We usually kind of get enclosed in our bubble in London and we don't really know what's going on outside. There's so much more beach volleyball going on out west, in the east with Canterbury and Kent, in the Midlands. Nottingham is starting up again. Hopefully they do something with the Loughborough courts. Oxford has a nice community up there, and all the way obviously up in Scotland there's St Andrews and Edinburgh who both run the four stars. We actually also didn't talk about the St Andrews four star, which neither of us were there for.
Ah, yes.
Um, but maybe next time we get a guest who was there, and then we get them to share their insights and their experience there.
Yeah.
But for now, we have another fun section after our guess the player last time. Today we have our little fantasy draft of beach pro players if they were to play on an indoor team. So George and I have both got a little world ranking of the men's on the FIVB World Tour Pro Tour, Beach Pro Tour as it's now called.
Hmm.
Um, well, we're gonna pick. We're just gonna do this draft like it's a lunchtime pickup game, and then we'll do it snake. So you pick one, I pick two, you pick two, I pick two, and then we'll go all the way to the end. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
All right, and make sure you have. So we're doing a starting seven, two outsides, two
Yeah.
middles,
Two middles,
opposite center
setter,
lib.
lib. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So ready? Rock, paper. I always go
Papers.
rock.
All right.
Rock,
Rock, paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors, shoot.
scissors, shoot.
Okay. My bluff didn't
Okay,
work. All right, you pick
let's
first
go.
then.
Okay, first I'm putting Evandro as my opposite.
No,
That's yeah, bro. I'm
I
sorry. You
wanted
see
him,
those
man.
serves, bro?
I
Those
wanted
serves
him.
on beach. You put
Yeah,
him on an indoor court. He's got an extra meter either way. He's bombing that. Like,
yeah,
nah. Evandro, easy pick, easy.
yeah. All right. Okay, okay. I'm taking. I doubt you'd have thought of this. I'm gonna take James Walker Shaw as my setter.
No, I hadn't. That was not where I was going.
He
That's not.
set for Stanford. He's got, that pro experience over in Germany. I don't know where else he's played, but I know he's probably the purest setter on the Beach Pro Tour. I know Miles Partain played setter in UCLA as well, but I'm picking James Shaw.
Okay, smart to go with the indoor flies. Okay, okay.
Oh wait, I get two. I
You get
get
your second
two.
pick. Yeah,
Okay. Um, I think I'm gonna have to go with Helvig. Oh no, Amen is outside.
no, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Amen is
You got
outside.
one of my outside picks. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. I got two picks here, and
yeah.
you might think I'm crazy for this, but I'm
Mm.
gonna take both the Capogrosses
Mm.
for a setter
Okay.
and an outside.
Yeah. Okay. Which one for which?
I'm taking Tomas as my outside, and I'm taking Nicolas as my setter. The way they play, like so fast with the ball on the beach, I think would be a really good setter connection
Mm.
on the indoor. So that's my pick. You might think that's wild, but oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Nice. Well, I think they're a good team. They're ranked third right now in the world, so
Yeah, they're doing
um
bits.
they're doing very well. Okay. Um, I'm gonna pick. Oh, I need a good passing unit. As an outside, I'm gonna have to pick my lib and my other outside first. Uh, I'm gonna take. Okay, I think Christian Sorum was playing as a middle in his NEVZAs when he was playing in those against England back in the
That's
day.
crazy.
But I'm gonna take Christian as my lib.
You took my pick.
Sorum as my lib, and then I need to pick another outside who's a good passer. I'm gonna have to go with. Oh, I don't know. There's so many options. There's so many options. Give me a second.
I know exactly who I'm picking next. Who I think are still underrated, even though they're like up there. I think they're still underrated.
I'm taking Ahmed Tijan as my other
Okay,
outside.
okay,
Ahmed
bang.
Tijan. I think he's a sleeper as well. Like he's got a very solid pass, a very solid swing,
Hmm.
very explosive. So he's gonna be my second outside.
Okay, well, I'm taking De Groot as my lib. I think he is
Hmm.
one of the un most underrated defenders on the Pro Tour. Obviously, not that underrated. He's like, ninth in the world. But I think watching him, he's personal favorite. And I'm going to take Bormans as well. Boom Boom Bormans. I mean, I'm going to put him as my middle. And I'm going to run him from everywhere on the court. And I'm just
Hmm.
going to get him to swing at absolutely everything.
You're just taking partners,
Yeah, I am.
just
I need the
picking people who
connection.
play together.
Exactly. In this case, I can even get De Groot setting Bormans from the
Hmm.
front 3 meter line. I can just get him
Yeah.
on a standard up ball. No
Damn.
chance.
All right. I got Setter and two middles to fill. Oh, okay. This is gonna be easy. Helvig is my middle,
Yeah, fair.
and then and Anders is my opposite. There's no other.
Yeah, Anders
That's a
is an opposite. It's
no-brainer.
crazy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy at the block. Crazy.
Okay, so these
Oh,
are your last two picks. So you have an
okay.
outside and a middle to fill.
Yeah. I think looking at it, I think outside as another middle, I'm actually gonna go with Mo's brother, Hendrik,
Hmm.
because I think he's popping off right
Yeah,
now massively.
yeah.
I think he'd be very good there. And then as an outside, oh, who do I go with? I thought it was an obvious pick. I'm gonna get grilled in the comments for this. I am gonna go with Halting Nelson,
Hmm.
but the young Swede. I want a
What?
bit of youth in. Actually, no, I take that back. I take that back. I'm so silly. I'm taking Diaz from Cuba as my
Hmm.
outside.
No.
Massive,
Oh
massive
wait, so
tune.
you've got Hendrik Mo as your middle.
Yes.
Oh, right, right, okay. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Diaz as your outside.
Yeah,
Fair
outside,
enough.
yeah.
Fair enough. Um, okay, so I guess it's my last middle pick. Uh, I'm gonna have to take I'm gonna have to take Nils Ellers. This guy's
That's a
massive.
solid. Yeah, solid
He's
pick.
he's two
Solid
meters
pick.
11.
Solid pick.
Yeah. Niels Ehlers, what is he? Olympic silver medalist. He's massive, huge blocker. Took
Hmm.
out the Norwegians in the semi. That's my pick. Okay, right. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put our teams into ChatGPT and then see who they think is gonna win. All right. That's what Sandy Side Up has come to.
Oh my God. We can also put it to the comments, to be fair.
Yeah.
Put it out on Instagram.
Before we tell you who ChatGPT thinks will win, let us
Yeah.
know in the comments whose fantasy beach indoor team is gonna win.
We'll put it on
Um,
Instagram as well.
yeah. Let's see. Ian's team. Shaw gives your team a real indoor rhythm. Mole Helvig brings chemistry. Obviously, ChatGPT is still a little bit flawed. Ahmed and
Yeah.
Aman bring speed and creativity. Weaknesses, slightly undersized at outside. Sorum is elite on sand, but libero in indoor is a new beast. Oh, as in
Fair.
that the libero position in indoor is a bit difficult, more difficult
Yeah.
than in beach. Your strengths, physicality and firepower with Evander Diaz and Bormans, height at every position and explosive attacking options. Weaknesses, no trained setter. Tomas might be a liability in complex systems, limited backcourt defense, and chemistry less tested, which I disagree with because you have quite a
I
couple of
massively.
pairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But ChatGPT says winner, drum roll please, Team Ian.
Very. Let's put it to the viewers.
Setting is such
I'm
an
backing my boys.
underrated position. Come on. The
I'm
indoor
backing my
setting of
boys.
James Shaw unlocks your hitters in ways George's team can't match. Your team plays smarter, faster volleyball with great balance across all phases, while George's team might dominate in raw power and serving. Lack of system and precision would cost you in
Dude, if you're
Mongrels.
trying to score against Evander and Bournemouth, you're getting blocked like 90 out of 100.
It's even given us a prediction. Team Ian wins in four sets, 25-22, 21-25, 25-19, 25-20.
What?
Okay.
That's
all
unreal.
all in all, that's just a bit of fun. We're just
Yeah.
chatting. We're just two guys chatting crap about volleyball.
Yeah.
Um, Hopefully we did have a little bit of a break with our podcast in the past couple of weeks just because we were both so busy playing on all these tournaments and events. But we're gonna try keeping the episodes coming, on a bi-weekly basis. Every 2 weeks,
Hmm.
we'll try recap something. We'll talk about the World Tour because there's always events going on there if there's none on the UK Beach Tour. But yeah, that wraps it up for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and until next time, we'll
We'll see
see
you on
you
the
on the
flip
flip
the flip
side.
side.